Well, I'm gonna go build my own theme park with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the park.
I mean, that in short is what Babylon 5 is about right there.
Yeah, if Paramount won't let you create your own Star Trek series or your own sci-fi series under their banner, you go to some other Hollywood studio and create your own.
Exactly. Welcome one and all to tonight's episode of a discussion on Babylon 5. Of course, season 3, part 5. We are going to get through this season. I tell you, I'm not lying. It is no lie at all. And while we're at it, I just want to say hi to everybody's favorite penguin besides Punk Waddle. It's our low-spec Linux laptop. Of course, we did see the first match between them in Penguin Dome, 2 penguins enter, 1 penguin leave. We might see some more in the near future. So good to see you. And so, of course, we have 4 episodes left. And let's get into the... Oh, but first of all, before I go, Mike, how the hell are you?
I'm doing good, Baron. How about yourself, brother?
Not bad. I'm glad you liked that Beekeeper movie.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you like a thriller with some action, a little bit of suspense, and you like Jason Statham movies or, action movies in general, go see it. It's a lot of fun.
Would you say it's kind of like the old Arnie Sylvester Stallone films of old?
Yeah. It was in some cases, and in other cases, it was a meld of, I don't know, some Jet Li films, Denzel Washington films, and
all the good
it's
stuff.
It's definitely trying to establish its own type of lore, since it's not going off of any novels or any pre-existing IP, and it's already gone over its production budget. So
hey,
I'm hoping for a sequel.
There we go. I was so sad to see it not doing so well when it first came out there. So, but hearing that last part makes me happy. I'm sure we'll talk more about it tomorrow on a little show called Pop Talk. Yeah, I might have heard of it.
We might talk about it tomorrow on Pop Talk, but I hope you have your pipes ready.
Oh yeah. But when we do still show, we're still going to show the box office.
Of course, that's part of the Sunday edition of Pop Talk.
Right. But I don't know. Fly me to the moon. How's that sound? I mean, I don't know.
Let me play among the stars.
I'm
see what spring is like on A Jupiter and Mars. In
So
other
that's
words,
and
I'll
that's
leave it
what we
right there.
that's what yeah, well that's what you're going to get tomorrow. It's going to be karaoke, but we'll come to that at the end of the show when Mike plugs it. But without further ado, let us pop into the episode. Gray 17 is missing, and I'll just rip the band-aid off right now. Half the episode is brilliant. The other half, Anna Marie, 1, 2, 3.
Move along home.
Move along home. Yeah. And a waste of a great talent.
Yeah,
So,
a waste of Robert Englund. I mean, here you have Freddy Krueger himself, and he's playing a character who's trying to be scary. But when I think of scary in Robert Englund, I don't think of the character he was playing in Gray 17 is missing.
yeah, unless JMS wrote it a little bit better. And if you think we're dumping on JMS, he even admits that if he could go door to door to all the fans and apologize for this episode, he would. Which my answer back was, well, at least half the episode was brilliant. So really did get into the crux and character building of where you think you couldn't do any more character building, it did. And just to give the kind of a synopsis, again, another thing that this episode was a waste on was Jerry Doyle. Being Garibaldi. It's always great on it, but to have him up against Robert Englund, it just didn't mesh. That would have been a great one if they had the part better for him. I could just see those two just butting heads just right. But of course, Garibaldi, he's investigating. There's something about a secret level on the station, and that level is Gray 17. It's kind of like one of the missing things, so it's kind of bothering him, especially being a security. But the great part of this episode is Delenn agrees to lead the Rangers, and Marcus, of course, of the Ranger, must protect her from a deadly threat. And that's basically in a nutshell what the episode is. We learn a bit about Delenn's family in this, her parents, most importantly. We found out her father died or passed beyond the veil about 10 years ago. He was heartbroken about the Earth-Minbari War, which is an interesting thing I'd like to bring up with you here on that. And of course, his mother entered the Sisters of Valaria. And you can kind of think it's, almost sounds like she became a nun type of thing, getting to a nunnery.
Yeah, definitely.
Secluding and such like that. And to give an idea, in the episode, the season closer for season 2, when Kosh shows himself, and everybody sees a different aspect of the religion, Valaria was what the Minbari saw. Give an idea. So, I mean, kind of going back, when we hear that Delenn's father died because of the war starting, did he know that his daughter was the one that gave the final order to start it?
That's a good question, and I really don't know the answer because it's one of those mysteries where they leave it up in the air.
Right?
Did he or didn't he? It's not one of those mysteries where you think, well, does it have to be solved? Do we have to see it as an audience member on a future episode? Do we have to read it in an upcoming novel? And my answer to that is no. Some things are best left as a mystery. And I think this is one of them.
We can speculate, we can talk. And I think that's the great thing about it. Without knowing for a fact of what it was, it does give us, just like the Star Trek show when they left things in the air and they had mystery to something, it got you to talk. It doesn't hand you the answer. It doesn't force feed or spoon feed you everything.
And I don't want a novel to spoon feed me everything. I don't want a TV show or movie to spoon feed me everything. I want to be able to figure out on my own and ask a question.
But it's
Did he
very, Yeah, because it's very interesting. Is like, why would he die because he was heartbroken about it? I mean, what about that uh, destroyed him emotionally? So sometimes it can lead you. Well, maybe it was that Dylan was the one, or just maybe the fact that this horrible thing happened and that Ducat was killed, and now they're on a war of genocide, and he didn't agree with that. It's like, oh, a war is one thing, but to commit genocide, that's another.
Or did he find things from the past on the Minbari homeworld
Mm-hmm.
that gave him
Mm-hmm.
some clues as to what the future holds?
Right. Yeah, you just don't know. It's again, that's one of the fun things to speculate, to have fans talk about. It's like, what could it be? And you're absolutely right, and I agree. It does not need to be answered. Let that be hanging there. Which is one of the Star Wars under Disney is doing. They want to answer all these questions and destroy the mystery. George Lucas even did that a bit with Boba Fett, destroyed that mystery. Um, we don't need those answers. We don't need to know about Han Solo or Boba Fett. We don't need to know everything about Spock's past. We got little pieces of it, especially the brilliant animated episode yesteryear. Um,
Hmm.
or name any of them along. We need to have some of the mysteries in these stories to make us talk or think, and I love that. I really do love that. Um, and especially the fact that the mother entered the Sisters of Valaria. What was that about too? Why, it just sounds so like a medieval story that you'd
Hmm.
have back at that time. And what did he do? What was his occupation? We know they have the three castes, and she was, of course, needless to say, uh, the priest caste, or the religious caste. Uh, was Dylan's mother also part of that, being that she entered that sisterhood? And what was Dylan's father? Was he a
Hmm.
warrior? Was he worker class? Do they intermingle like that? So I like that. I really do like that. And notice we're focusing on that part because we do see find out Garibaldi's grandmother. She was a police officer in Boston, and that was, of course,
Hmm.
already mentioned before in any by any means necessary. But he's got her revolver, and he pockets the bullets. And of course, it doesn't take much to figure out they don't use ammunition like that on board a space station because they don't want to penetrate the hull. That's why they have the PPGs, which is phased
Hmm.
plasma gun. Um, so we know that it doesn't take much to figure that out. But he's got that mystery, gray sector. Why is there, which is a industrial unit area? Why is there
That
that
was
sector
sealed off
mystery?
after construction was completed on Babylon 5.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I do think it was kind of fun watching them, Garibaldi, going through and timing between going through the different sections. It's like, wait a moment. Yep, this went longer. Okay, let's get to this point and stop, and let's open the door. Try to get that door open and find out there it is. Now, of course, no spoiler alert, everybody, because we're going to spoil it. Robert Englund in there, he's playing a cult leader by the name of Jeremiah. How biblical! You know what I'm forgetting to do? I'm forgetting to do this. You know, people coming to Babylon 5. There's Zach. We missed so many people. Let's
And
get through this.
Jeff Conway
Obvi-
was a great actor.
yeah, he was. Grease, Taxi, this. Yeah.
Hmm.
Too bad he had those demons, man. Too bad he had those demons. But he was a good actor. There's just no doubt about it. He had that interesting voice about him, too.
Hmm.
Kind of a little gravelly, but of course, here's the thing, people coming in complete forms, beautiful Ivanova. I like it when she smiles.
I
Her
love it
eyesight.
when she
Mm-hmm.
smiles.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing Claudia Christian smile.
Oh, yeah, she's just got that pretty smile. And of course, this is where we kind of have a little thing. We have this poor guy, he's working in the hole, and boom, he disappears. And so we know there's something not quite right. Bye bye. Nice knowing you, guy. enjoy your 5 minutes of fame, or 1 minute of fame. The Minbari homeworld, and she goes back, and there's problems on Minbar. There's of course, we've been having that power struggle. As we know, no Minbari has killed Minbari for 1,000 years, and now things keep a little dicey when they start finding out that there's Minbari souls in humans. So it's like, have we been killing Minbari? We have a little touch here from the previous episode where they have Sinclair's personal belongings, his identity card, his medal for being on the line, his Earth Force badge, his Ranger badge, and I believe that is his flight patch that he had. So again, in their little nod, giving us one little goodbye, being given to Lynn.
Yeah, one little goodbye, seeing his personal effects.
It's nothing to dwell on. Just that.
Nothing to really dwell on, but it still offers, a final closure on the character.
Right. And just what it needs. It didn't need to focus so much on it. No, that's the thing. It's just it's not a member bury, but it's just that final confirming, yeah, he's gone. Just like when we go through belongings of someone who's gone, has gone, and it's like it just gives that final thing. And of course, there's Garibaldi with that pistol. The one thing I hate is he did the little thing where they spin the wrist a little bit, and the cylinder goes into the pistol. I hate that because you can damage him so much by doing that. But there he's showing it off. There's his pistoli that his grandmother had. Obviously, a very proud heirloom. Zach's giving it a try. Dirty Zach. There we go. Go ahead. Make my year.
Gotta ask one question. Did he fire 5 shots or 6? I know I just misquoted it, but
Will Narn, you feel lucky, Narn?
Do you feel lucky, Jakar? And of course, Franklin's still on his walkabout, but he gets stabbed. And he
actually, this actually not in this episode. This is just
okay.
A little,
okay, I'm a little ahead of myself.
Just a little bit, not much, but it's just reminding us that he's down below, and having a little conversation with Ivanova, I believe, and then we have a little bit more of things are going on. What's going on?
Yeah.
And look, we have from the Warrior cast, Naroon.
Yep.
Boo hiss, boo hiss. And I believe, unfortunately, he's passed away now too. Good actor. He was a good actor.
He was great at this episode. I mean, facing off against Marcus.
If I remember right, he was also did some Star Trek episodes too.
I think so.
John Vickery is Vickery, is who that was.
I'm gonna look up and see what episodes of Star Trek he was in.
And before we continue on, we have waiting in the wings. Things are going to get pretty exciting now because Centauri meet Narn. Narn meets Centauri. It's Chinka.
It's
well, look who finally decided to show up to the show instead of being here on time, like the typical Nan.
I was looking for Forbidden Donut for Baron Orman Voss.
Why do you sound like me, a Centauri? You're a Nan.
I am mocking you. Yes.
You have to sound mighty. You have to sound
Mighty,
like you're an
right,
orator.
right.
Yeah, orator.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I can't do Andreas Katsulas, but
I know it's really good. I'll have to work on it. I wonder if I can get it down. His Narn is
Mhm.
pretty good. The Centauri is pretty good. Can you be a
Mhm.
filthy Nan, Mike?
I already feel filthy being around the non.
Dina came
I
in.
am disgusted. I am disgusted.
He is disgusted, folks. Absolutely.
Oh, good.
And yeah, just to bring you up to speed, we are talking about Grey 17 is Missing, that masterpiece of an episode.
Oh,
but
boy.
Actually being slightly sarcastic on that one, because half of this episode that we've been saying was great.
Right.
I mean, with the Delenn, but it's Robert Englund and Garibaldi.
Well, it was just like they were trying to do something with it, and it just went. It was such a waste of the man's talent. And I know Robert. I'm sure he has not just played Freddy Krueger. I know he's well known for that, obviously, but I'm sure he's had other roles. I just can't.
Well, the one role that would throw people off completely is he played Willie in V. The mild mannered visitor. That that was Robert Englund in there, and you would never think that. You know, you take a look at this guy, which kind of shows that range. It's sad that Robert Englund is trapped in the horror genre, and I don't think he minds. I think he loves it.
I don't think that's a bad genre to usually be in.
Yeah. But the thing is seeing him in V shows that he had range. He could be this mild-mannered guy, and then he can also be this monster in between.
Yeah, and as far as John Victory is concerned, he was in the episode Night Terrors of season 4 of Next Generation as Andres Hagen, and he was also in 3 episodes of DS9 as Goal Reset.
Yeah, I know. Right. And, I think a lot of these actors embrace things. Like, obviously, William Shatner embraces the fact that a lot of people always know him as Kirk. And, that's not ever a bad thing, in my opinion.
Yeah. After a certain amount of time, they do, because they fear their typecast and such.
Right.
But,
right.
The way I look at it, for any of these people, I mean, anyone who thinks of Jerry Doyle, they'll think of Garibaldi. Bruce Roxleitner has the luxury of being known for many things because it's very.
He does Tron for sure,
And it was getting back to John Victory real quick. He was also in an episode of Enterprise as a Klingon.
Nice.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So he crossed the Forbidden River.
He became a Klingon warrior.
Of course, Shatner does have, of course, T.J. Hooker. People do remember him for that too.
This episode just felt like a bad. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off, Baron.
No. The only thing I was going to sit back and say is, if you're known for at least one role, and that's what you're going to be known for forever, be lucky, because a lot of people don't have that in Hollywood. They're doing stuff. Don't have that.
Yeah. And I remember one person, like, I don't want to get too far off track on this one, but
real quick on John Vickery, just one last note.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's still with us. He's still with us.
Oh, yeah?
Good.
Oh, okay. Who was I thinking that passed away? I thought he passed away. My apologies. I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
So
I'm
very sorry.
Very sorry. Yeah.
That's what we need to do, is look at Patrick Stewart and said, you know what? Are you sorry now? You better be. No, but David Schwimmer is one of those actors who I remember a quote that came up before watching a movie, and it says, I don't just want to be known as Ross. And I'm like, well, you've done some other roles. So, and you were really good as a Kardashian's father. Very good role for you. So, but really, you shouldn't be sad that a lot of people know you as Ross. I mean, Friends was a hit show. However you feel about it, was a hit show. So. Yeah. And even though it's considered it got canceled after 10 years, that's crazy in itself. But
well, 10 years. I mean, that's
10
good work.
seasons. Yeah. Yes. Yep. So.
Well, like I said about Ed O'Neill. I mean, he had 2 series that went 11 years.
Yeah.
Married with Children the other one.
And
So
Modern Family. Yep. And he was
so
definitely a key character in those. And I did like him in Dragnet though, and that got canceled. That show had potential, but whatever.
it didn't last a season. So
No, I don't. I guess it didn't last a season. Shit.
So you're going to make a comment about something wasted about this?
I mean, this is to me like this was a bad Halloween episode. Babylon 5, the bad Halloween episode. That's I think I tried to put this out of my mind like Mike. I think so. Yeah.
It was aired in the US on October 7th, so it's pretty close to
oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
It just felt like it could be in a Halloween episode since it was around October.
I don't think it was meant to be, but yeah.
Probably.
And oddly enough, this episode was first aired in the UK on September 10th, so almost a month before we saw this episode. Those bloody limeys. I love you guys, but I'm going to get you. Another thing that kind of reminded me a little bit was a little bit of The Prisoner, especially with that doll creature there.
Right.
And shooting him like that. It gave me a little bit of The Prisoner vibe. Yeah.
That doll. Yeah.
It's Philip McCracken.
I just hope they paid Robert a lot of money for this at the time, or a good chunk of money to be on this, because it's just some of this stuff you see, movies, TV, you're like, God, that was bad. How much did they pay that actor?
And
is that why he was in it? Like Robert Downey Jr. in Doolittle, that remake. Oh, no. I couldn't watch it. But
remake of a remake. There wasn't the
was there? I think there was.
Didn't Eddie Murphy do one?
Yeah, he did. I guess that does count, doesn't it? Shit.
Yeah. But there's one thing that I have to sit back and say, though, I love is you have callbacks to previous episodes. Babylon 5 captain appointed, Santiago is reelected, and whatever. I mean, that's not, it's not memorable, but the thing is, it just adds, relevance to a lot of things there. It's like, boom, I do like that. I mean, you got to give those guys props for that.
Yes.
I don't know. And of course, we were talking about the mystery of Delenn, her father, passing away 10 years ago when the Earth Minbari War started. Basically in grief, and her mother went to basically a nunnery. The what was that again? The Sisters of Valaria. And what do you think about that? I'm going to throw this question at you because you weren't here. It doesn't get explained at all, really. But do you have... Oh, I don't want to do that. Do you think that her father knew that she was the one that gave the okay to start the war?
Maybe he had an idea because it's her father. But if I remember how this does play out, I think he probably had an idea that she was going to start this, and it was all because of somebody. It's more that revenge, and you're upset, and you're not always thinking straight, and you can't blame Delenn for feeling that way. But even humans are crafty, man. I mean, aliens, that would be exactly how things could go. They're very crafty, and they're not as screwed up as we are as a race, as humans.
Well, we do find out that they do
stuff.
have their problems. Yeah, we do find out that they do have their
But
problems.
Minbari has their issues too, and obviously they have that arrogance about them, just like a lot of humans do. For example, certain ones, yes, like the council. I'm better than you. You're Delenn. You're not one of us anymore after you, had the thing with the cocoon, and we told you not to do that. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
You did it too early. Yep.
Right. Yep.
And the sad thing is this role, I think Robert Englund could have shined if it was done just a little different.
Yeah, if the material was better than what were presented as an audience, I think he really could have shined in this guest spot, and maybe it would have led to recurring appearances.
Mm-hmm.
It could have, yeah.
Because, like I said earlier, about that wide range he has,
Mhm.
being William V. and then being Freddy Krueger and the various other ones.
Yes.
He could have done and I'm, I was excited when I heard he was going to be in an episode of Babylon 5. I was like, oh, what's he going to do? Just like I was excited to hear about Michael York being in an episode, and a few others. But yeah, I mean, he kind of let down, but I felt that he was let down even more.
Mm-hmm.
This cult leader down there.
Yes. Yep. And trying to find a way out of the nonsense.
Exactly. With a pocket full of bullets. Again, Chekhov's gun. If you see something, it has to be used later on. There's a purpose behind it. And I think that's Phil McCracken's Bach Church cult. That's Phil, right? Robert Englund's Phil, and the rest are his little bots that he has, his troll bot.
I can see it. I really
can. Like Phil.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should take that image and
you should
do something with it. Yeah. I mean, look at the eyes these guys.
Well, I don't know how many times when we were watching also Babylon 5 that Phil just kept bringing up. It's a discount Bruce Willis. It's a discount Bruce Willis every time. It never failed. I still say Peter Doyle is a good actor, though. Even if people look at him, see his
Jerry,
someone else. Yes, Jerry. Yeah.
Yeah,
not Peter. I'm thinking of someone else. Yeah, Jerry.
Yeah, what?
Jerry Doyle. Yeah. No, I think he's still a good actor, and yeah, I mean, is he kind of like in Bruce Willis' shadow? I guess maybe he could be considered discount Bruce Willis character. I don't know, but I was trying to just not listen to Phil because he said it like every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. And I have to admit that his death really did. It hit me when I found out he died. It really hit me.
Yeah.
Here, of course, we have the confrontation between Marcus and Naroon over, basically the Rangers. So the Rangers were given control under the Warrior caste, and now they're moving away from that towards the religious caste more. Valen, aka Sinclair, had them under the Warrior caste specifically at the time because that they were started during the war with the Shadows 1,000 years ago. Yep. And to have them not part of that caste would have been an insult. But now things have changed, especially now that you have more Warrior caste on the console than everybody else. And you can see the loyalty that Marcus has to defend Delenn.
Yes. I need to do my Patrick Stewart for getting the name wrong. I'm sorry. I'm so very, very sorry.
But Marcus gets the what kicked out of him in this episode. Naroon is willing to, if necessary, kill him.
Yes.
Over all this because this is a ridiculous thing, but he spares Marcus. We also have ceremonies. If I remember right, in this episode, they're trying to find telepaths as well to join in on this one because they need them against the Shadows. Of course, when it comes around to Ivanova, she's only P1. She won't be anything more than that. So it's not as much. She's not as much help as anything in that. Oops, I did it again. Why did I do that for? Hit the wrong button. So, okay, overall, last thoughts about this episode.
The first half, like you said, Barrett, is good.
Right, I agree.
The parts with the Minbari, Delenn, Marcus, that whole part is good. The other part of the episode with Robert Englund being wasted, you have a discount piranha-looking predator creature.
Yeah, that guy right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't look good. It looked silly.
Yep.
If I just wanted to rate one half of the episode, I would rate that a 4 out of 5. But because it has the other
Yeah.
part hanging onto it, it drags
Mhm.
it down and it brings it to a 2.5 out of
Mhm.
5.
I think I agree with Mike. That's fair.
Yeah, fast forward past all that stuff. Maybe follow Garibaldi up to the time he opens up the door, because it's always fun to watch Garibaldi, and and pass it up. So that's Gray 17 is missing. Now we have another episode. It's called "And the Rock Cried Out, No Hiding Place." The name is, of course, off of an old gospel spiritual. We have a gentleman coming on board to give spiritual help. Of course, we see Brother Theo again, which is always great because really love Brother Theo. I wish they would use him a little bit more. And Londo is using Jakar and Veer to gain power into the Toddy royal court. And of course, Sheridan himself, he's fighting over what the hell are the shadows doing.
Right.
He's trying to get into the shadows' mind. He's trying to figure out what they're doing. He's obsessing himself. As you can see, he's not really looking that good there. Boom. Right?
No, he's exhausted because he's been up for hours on end trying to think like a shadow and what their next move is going to be.
Yep.
Right. And we're finding out that they have been completing a fleet of White Stars manned by Rangers. Keep it away from Warrior Cast, you buggers. And Sherry's been avoiding Delin through all this because, he figures she has her own problems, as we saw in the previous episode. There is a thriving underground going against good old President Clark. We found that out in this episode. And Natat, his former aide, well, she is believed to have been on Narn at the time of the Centauri attack and don't know if she is alive. Now, the one important thing in there, at the start of this episode, they had Z minus. And it's like, oh, what's this? Well, we're 3 episodes, 2 more episodes in the season conclusion. So let's get back over here. So as we can see, it's Brother Lewis, the brother, and we have a little conversation between Jakar and Ivanova. I believe she is opening up a little bit more about the Army of Light, and you're now part of it. Look at those wonderful alien dishes. That spoo. Now, is that spoo fresh?
Looks pretty
is
good.
That fresh spoo?
Looks pretty good.
That's Centauri for you.
I have that every day. It is so delicious. Why are you laughing? Is it because non-food is so bland?
No, it's the best. That's what I hear. It's the best.
The best.
It's bland. It doesn't have any flavor. Centauri food has flavor.
Have you ever tried Narn? You just talking out of your ass again. You filthy Centauri.
You speak like a human. Why are you speaking like a human?
I'm a hybrid.
You're a hybrid. Oh, okay. I see how it is. So, of course, here's just
the galaxy.
So here we go. We got, of course, our Roman Catholic. We have our, maybe you could probably sit back and say Baptist because
more definitely Baptist.
Baptist, yeah, okay.
And of course, we have our humble rabbi, and then we have our humble imam with Islam. So, here you see 2 factions of Christianity, and of course Judaism, and of course Islam. And of course, they're there to try to help because they broke away the spiritual needs.
Right.
And of course, the brother is familiar with these guys, and they do have their little banter back and forth. You can tell they're old friends, but they're not going to show it. They're just going to bust each other's chops, kind of like we do.
Yes.
Oh, and we can't forget looks like we have someone with Hinduism.
Is it or is it Buddha?
Or Tao?
Hindu?
Taoist?
Buddhism.
Buddhism.
So.
Oh, you like the booties? Okay.
Yeah, he's Buddhist.
Yeah, he's Buddhist. Yeah. And look who we have joining the team. Rifa.
Yeah, he's a complicated man.
He's a slime ball, as the humans will say.
He's a complicated man, but
of course, again, Sheridan's obsessing. He's trying to not put his problems on Delenn, and she basically gives him the wise words.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always loved about Delenn's character, how wise she is. You could listen to that woman for hours.
You could. And she even has a pretty smile, too.
She does.
Oh, yeah. I miss
Mira.
Yeah. And the little conversation we have back and forth in the situation room. We're getting ready to meet Lord Rifa, who we have.
Yes, Lord Rifa, yes.
But there's wheels upon wheels going on here. And we don't know exactly what's going on quite yet, but he's got something on mind. And we know that
Londo's got something up his sleeve.
And he knows that Rifa, or he believes that Rifa was involved with killing Adira, his beloved former slave lover. So there's no love between him and Lord Rifa, who's been weaseling himself into the court using, of course, the shadows. Mr. Morden.
He's the worst. The shadows, man. Some of these filthy Sentai with their own language.
I don't know. He kind of looks a little like you there, Cash.
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think that
I think I know what my next editing project
more.
will be. I think I know what my next editing.
I don't know. He looks a little older than I am, of course. So no, his puffed up cheeks a bit. Yeah.
Right. Now, with this episode, as we find out, there's a revenge plan, and he's actually been working with Jakar on this. Good old Jakar there. And they happen to go back to Narn, the Narm homeworld. And while the spiritual fulfillment is happening on board the station, and they're starting to sing, and the rock cried out, "No hiding place." After we find out that there was a little message that was sent to the Narn on the planet, and of course, the good old Rifa was there, and Jakar also was there, and they play the message about his duplicity, his that he was behind certain things that caused the Narn problem, and they literally beat him to death as they're singing the spiritual, and the rock cried out, "No hiding place." What did you think about that? How they timed everything on that? How they paced everything out? How they went flashing back and forth between the singing and the brutality.
I thought that was pretty good. I mean, think about the message that Londo gives him before all that happens. Here he's thinking he's going to be killing Jakar, and Londo goes, "Not so fast."
Yeah,
his guards leave him.
Is trying to help Jakar as well, of course.
Of course, try to get to Narn and all that.
You go there, there's going to be problems. Could be in jail or shot. Yeah.
But it was very interesting how they would go back and forth between the gospel and the choir scene, and then you see the beatdown and.
Right. And of course, Rifa trying to get the information out of our esteemed Veer, who is being used as a tool, and he finds out later he
Yes.
was not happy about it. But we also see in this episode Jakar and Londo working together on a certain
Mhm.
role. They both want Rifa dead, which is kind of
They,
interesting.
they have a common interest.
Mm-hmm. And so, Strange Belfold, of course, we got the telepath who goes into mind. Of course, Veer knows nothing, so he knew that telepath would be used, so give him false information he believes this was going to be.
Yep.
And we also have, of course, a little, between Sheridan and the good pastor there.
Well, anybody who's a strong leader like Sheridan, would end up in a situation like this, have demons. I mean, the shadows are,
Mm-hmm.
But it's
horrible.
also good to get spiritual advice.
Yes, it is. I
during times
agree.
like this.
And I like
Right.
the spiritual stuff in this show. I do. I think it adds some extra. And I love as I've said before, I love the fact that they show these aliens having religion, just like with the Klingons, and I think it's important, and I always have. I always think that finding out about any different species or whatever and their religion is very interesting. And I wish we would bring a lot of that back to sci-fi, but that's a whole nother.
That's another argument.
Yeah,
That's something we should have a show about, religion and science fiction.
Yeah.
But of course, here we are in Arn. And the thing is, again, Sheridan takes advice, looks for advice or someone's ear, will listen if someone's giving good advice.
Yes.
Again, he might not necessarily take it, but he takes it under counsel, just like Kirk. Again, showing what a good leader is.
Yes.
We find out how manipulative good old Londo is, and how he's even using such a loyal aide such as Veer to come to the final end. As he's being, threatened for life. Here he finds out he was being used as a tool.
Yeah, and Veer did not like that, just like anybody.
No.
That's just insulting.
Yeah, just like Mike uses us.
He tries.
So, of course, Lord Reef looks like he's got that high ground. He's going to take out good old Jakar, laughing. And that's when we start. There's the service. Everyone's listening, clean till end. He's interested in knowing. He continues talking. The message is played. He's not liking it one bit. It's like, okay, what's going on here?
And then things go south, basically.
For him, yeah.
Yes, for him.
And the funny thing is, he dies because of duplicity done by Mr. Morden. He had nothing to do with what happened.
No, he didn't. That I know he had nothing to do, but it doesn't mean he was a good person. But still,
no.
It's one of those things, and of course, well, we're not going to go ahead of ourselves yet, but it's going to get crazy. We'll just say that.
Oh yeah, it's going to go great on that one.
Yes.
And it's wait, where'd my guards go?
If they walk away.
Bye, Rifa.
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia.
Interesting. Yeah. Bye, Felicia. Yeah. Well, bye. Of course, let's get into the spiritual. This is when they start singing. He's trying to get away. What happens? And notice that Jakar never gets involved.
No, he just walks away.
He just watches. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the brutality of what's happening with on that. I think it was brilliant, and especially it fits with that. In the Rock Ride Out, no hiding place, and there was no hiding place. It comes together. It comes together. That song, what Rifa was doing, good old Londo giving information, securing his spot a little bit more within the Centauri court. And
it definitely helps move the season closer to its finale.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
And of course, all the white stars.
That's why I'm hoping people like Paul and some of the people. I know people say, "Oh, Babylon 5 is slow and whatever," but it's like, no, dude, just give it a chance. There's so much deep drama and stuff in this show.
Right.
Whatever.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what's important. Last thoughts on this episode.
Strong episode. Yeah.
Mhm.
10 out of 10 would watch it again. No, it's a strong episode.
Well, yeah, it's not a filler. It's not a filler. There's no doubt
No.
about that. Not at all.
No.
Now we're kind of coming to
It
the
definitely
episode.
makes up for Grey 17 is missing.
Yeah. And again, it shows every episode has
That's
has
Phil's
a turkey.
best episode, just like Byron's song. So
He
won't
loves
admit it.
Byron's. Of course, the next episode we have is called Shadow Dancing. We have two things. We have Sheridan's launches a preemptive strike against the Shadows, and this is coming to the end of the walkabout with Franklin, where he is stabbed trying to help someone.
That's right.
And
yeah.
it does have a banger of an end in this one. We will save that to the very end of our discussion on here.
Yeah, somebody, when he was doing his walkabout, I think Franklin just needed to be slapped a few times by Garibaldi.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up, bitch!
Mm-hmm.
But, that kind of dialogue won't happen probably. So, but still.
Right.
I just thought that just dragged on too long, Baron. But whatever.
Well, it wasn't that many episodes. It just seemed like it. It really does.
Yeah. All right. That's fair.
I mean, we only had really one episode that dealt with them down below. Then we had a couple little quick bites, and then we have this, the final story. And it didn't help. It was basically promoting the singer type of story that he had for his walkabout. Excuse me. So we have our team getting together here. We have basically trying to show to the League of Non-Aligned Worlds that they can do something. Oh, you gotta love the Pakmara. They look so Cthulhu-ish.
I like that look, yeah.
And of course, the Drow.
Well, you have to get the aliens involved against, the shadows, and then they're just like, well, what are we going to get out of this? Which is, normal, realistic.
Right.
What are we going to get out of this?
What our world's going to get out of this? Because we're putting our resources at our own planet.
We're putting our lives on the line. Yep.
Well, that's just it. It's like we're risking something here. Is it going to be a worthwhile fight?
Yep.
Are we going to be just cannon fodder? And we have, of course, our lovely Drawl explain the situation. Oh, God, she's got it. Oh, I can look at that forever. We should just do a stream where we're just looking at her picture. And we have Franklin, of course, down below. And this is, again, coming to conclusion.
That woman's been in stuff. I think she was in Star Trek. The one on the
might have
right.
been.
I think
it's Shirley Presta. I think that's Shirley Presta.
She's definitely been in a lot of stuff. I think a lot of TV things, a lot of TV shows popped up. Yeah.
Of course, she's one of those character actors that you see her face, you know her face. You may not know her name off the top of your head, but you know her face.
Right. I've seen your face. I know your face. But who could you be?
Oh. Yeah.
I'm practicing that for tomorrow.
Okay.
Actually, I'm taking a look here as we're talking. Oh, look what we got here. We got It'll McCracken. Great.
Yep.
And
Phil McCracken.
Yeah, and I think that is if I see it, she's been in a lot of stuff, but she's a character actress. Yep. Family Law, What Women Want, Murphy Brown.
Oh,
she's all over the place.
Yeah, that's right. She popped in Murphy Brown. I think she might have even popped in on Frasier. She was actually on.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
I think it's possible. I have to check.
But she took a wrong turn there and down below with the little girl. Of course, being down below, that's a target, and the ball comes over. Can I give you the ball? Like, get away. He's a dirty man. Now we're Z minus 6 days.
Yeah.
Our flirtation between Marcus and Ivanova. He's saying something in Minbari to her. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever met.
They have a complicated relationship, of course.
They do, yeah. And what's interesting is he's a virgin.
Is he?
Yeah, he made it known that he's never been with a woman.
I forgot that. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like kind of like a Sir Galahad the Pure.
Well,
We have a situation where he's trying to protect someone and he's stabbed. And this is where, no one wants to help him. He's by himself. People are taking whatever, and he's crawling along.
right, and he's
someplace
starting to talk to his inner self, basically.
Right. Basically, his inner self is doing what we wished would happen. Ivana finds a way to be able to sleep on board a Minbari ship.
I just don't. I think I would have trouble too. It's just the way that I don't know if I could do it. I think I would do what she's doing.
Oh yeah. And now they're shadow hunting, and oh boy, look at those uglies. What to do? But as he's going along, he starts talking to himself. He's basically telling himself that he's a schmuck. You're arrogant.
What the heck are you doing, man?
Yeah. Which I think it does play out. I mean, I think it's a good thing that you see this battle at the end, because it's basically him kicking himself in the ass. He's hit rock bottom, and he most likely might not live.
Yeah, the blood looks good on the face too. All this stuff now.
No, because of the like blood.
That's right, exactly. No, I'm just saying it just looks good, and I just mentioned that because all this stuff is so much CGI now. Like, right. I think we could use still a good deal of makeup on these, but just point that out because I see it right in the picture. Yes, we spilled a lot of blood yesterday. That was fun.
I think though this kind of shows a little bit of Richard Biggs' acting abilities with that.
What kind of range he had.
Was he in anything else that I would know of? I swear he looks familiar when I first saw him in Babylon 5.
I'll look it up.
He'll look it up. That's why he got Mike. He can do that. He's good at that. That's the reason why I have Mike around. He's my library guy.
It's good to do research, man.
Yeah.
Always.
I think he was in some soap at one time, but I could be wrong. Just
he
like
was
I was
in
wrong
Beverly
about
Hills 90210.
Oh, he did. Interesting. Okay.
Yes. He was in VIP. He was in the soap opera Guiding Light.
Oh, well.
There, that's it. Yep. I thought,
Touched by an Angel. He was in Jack.
Oh, wow.
CSI. The original CSI. NYPD Blue.
Right. Oh, ER, wow. Nice.
Crossing Jordan. Strong Medicine.
Crossing Jordan. Yes, I know that show.
I remember that show. That was kind of that was a quiet hit. That was quiet.
Diagnosis Murder. He was in an episode of that as well.
That went on for a while. Yeah, with Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke.
He was also in Days of Our Lives.
Wow. So another soap opera, yeah.
He was also in Beauty and the Beast.
Really?
Oh, okay.
The 2017 one?
No, the original one, Ron Perlman.
The 1987.
Oh, he was.
One, yes.
Oh, really? Okay. No, I was just wondering. Okay.
The TV
I guess
series.
he had already passed away by then. Okay.
He was also in It's Gary's Shandling show.
Oh, nice.
He portrayed a young doctor.
That was a fun show.
Oh, that was a good show. Yeah.
A lot of fun.
He was also in TJ Hooker.
Was he? I got to watch some more of that. It's been a while. That was a good show too. Fun show, TJ Hooker.
It'd be interesting. Yeah, it'd be interesting to start watching, especially when you know these people were on these shows.
Beauty and the Beast,
and he was also in an episode of The Twilight Zone.
Oh wow! Wow.
But yeah, I mean,
87.
As much as we were complaining about this walkabout, I think this finish is.
The finish is fine.
Right. It pays off because we see Richard Biggs doing that role. Basically him tormenting himself, getting what you're doing. What are you doing, you schmuck? Of course, Sheridan on board the Minbari ship. They're doing their battle. They're doing their war. They're trying to take out the shadows. And look who comes to visit Mr. The good doctor. It's a good old Mr. Garibaldi. He finally crawls out. Someone sees him. They scream. They run him down the mid-lab, and they patch him all up. But, he's hurting. He's a hurting unit.
Wow, he died in 2004. Jesus.
Yes, he's been gone for a while, sadly.
Goodness.
Aneurysm, I believe. And he was a Lutheran, from what I understand. So, I don't think he was Missouri Synod. Not like, Lyle Lovett was. But, of course, Garibaldi's there giving support. And don't make him laugh. It hurts.
That's right. Yeah.
Because we're coming to the conclusion of everything that's going on. But he's being reminded something. He's got to do something with Delenn.
Yeah.
And she's got to watch him. They've had their little thing. They've proven themselves. Franklin's back. He's healing up.
And I was stupid. I was dumb. Yes, we know.
Yep. But of course, he's accepted back. I mean, how could you not? He's a good doctor. He's a good friend.
Yeah.
And now we have Delenn is, and we saw this, of course, in the two-parter, A War Without End. We didn't see fully the whole scene. We just heard a voice and her reaction. But now here is the scene. Here she is watching the good captain, as is Minbari tradition before, when you're going through the mating ritual, you might say. Anavanova is a little troubled by something. She's watching, but we go back here. She's watching. She's pleased. It's like she likes what she sees, and it's like, oh, what's this? It's a snow globe. And look who walks through the door.
Yeah.
Straight from Little House in the Prairie.
Everything's fine, yeah. Everything's fine, yeah, right.
Aren't you dead?
Exactly.
Quote a phrase from Star Trek 2. And Melissa Gilbert, the former wife to Bruce Boxleitner at this time, they were married. And there she is. Boom. And it's like, I'm Anna Sheridan. And that's the end of the episode. Now, final thoughts on this one.
Good episode.
Yes.
I liked it. I am glad that they didn't have the Walkabout go another episode.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
It's too much. I know it didn't feel that long, but it just, I don't know. It just went throughout pretty much the season about it. I still think it dragged on a bit too long.
Yeah. I mean, it was only about 6 episodes or such. But they didn't really focus on it too hard, except for like the other episode. So,
and I also like how it focuses how the tides of war are about to begin.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, it's looming over you. It's looming over you. They fired shots at the shadows. What are the shadows going to do now?
Yep. And anybody who looks at the situation rationally knows that his wife coming back and she's supposed to be dead. Something is definitely wrong here. Definitely wrong.
Well, especially even with Morden, because Morden has been confirmed already to have been aboard the Icarus.
Right.
And how did he survive?
I survived because you're an ass. We know what's going on, prick.
Yeah.
What a really good character, though. Mr. Morden. Yes.
A great actor, too. I mean, being able to pull that part off. And, of course, we see Morden again in this episode. It's Zahadum.
Yes.
If you go to Zahadum, you will die. As a certain Vorlon once said. We do, of course, like I said, we have Anna Sheridan here. We have Morden back. And we're going to be seeing a character that, an actor we've seen in so many things, but he's going to be playing on that one. But this pretty much, of course, we're taking a look at this mission. Anna Sheridan comes aboard Babylon 5. Obviously, she wants to bring her husband with him because the shadows look at him as a threat. What can we do to convince him that what you're doing is wrong?
We join us. Yeah.
Right. And, of course, Londo is learning more about his political future, you might say. Especially after the last episode that we had. So getting in there, of course, good old Sheridan wakes
Mhm.
up and he sees this. Delenn runs out and it's like, whoa, let's face it, she was hot back then. Whew. Can't blame
Well,
him.
she doesn't look bad now either.
No, I know it doesn't. Yeah. But it's like, oh, can you imagine you having this intimate moment? And yeah, it's intimate because she's, looking into his soul as he's sleeping. And, supposedly late wife comes walking in. There we go.
Right. What the hell?
Yeah, they needed her for the Screen Actors Guild instead of Fran Drescher because she was in charge of the guild for a while.
Was she? I did not know
Yep.
Yes, she
that.
was.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's me, John. It's me, John. It's
I don't know.
me.
When I heard about Fran Dresser, I was like, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least
The woman from
props on
Nanny?
marry her. Yeah.
And some other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, she wins things by just talking and listening to that voice.
But
Right.
also don't forget that she was also the voice of Batgirl in Batman the Animated Series.
Mm. Oh, Melissa Gilbert?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
right.
Yep. Yep.
That's right. I think I did see her name. That's crazy. That's awesome.
Of course. Of course, they got to do all these scans. It's like, what is this woman? Is she really who she is?
No.
Going through the scans, and it's like she appears normal, but what's going on here?
No.
Even Sheridan's like, that can't be her.
Yes. No.
Mhm.
This makes no sense. No.
Mm-hmm. But shall we not forget? I believe it was oh, look who's here. DJ Ronnie G. Good to see you. You and your turtles.
DJ.
I wish there were
Turtle
turtles in this
power.
episode for you. Yeah.
I know, man.
But I think we saw in
you need your turtles, bro.
I think we saw in a previous episode someone being taken out of one of the shadow ships, which could be foreshadowing of what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Sheridan is discussing the matter with Delenn, which is wise to do. But everybody is on edge. What's this all about? What's this trickery? And we have Londo himself, all happy with himself for what he did. Gained proclamation, learning about his political future, which we will see next season, pretty much. But he's becoming a rising star within the Centauri. They do find something, though. There's a little something right there. Other than that, everything's fine with her. She's, she is who she is. And now here we take a look at another one of the telepaths. And we can see that there are things that are within them going into the brain. And it has the ports, it looks like, but not the actual implant.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yes, she is Anna, but she isn't. And she's wanting to take him to Zahadum. You gotta come with me. You gotta talk with these guys. There she is. You gotta come with me to Zahadum. Really, you need to hear the other side. It's not that bad, John. Honestly, John, come on. We can do it again. Come on, you want to do it, don't you? Come with me. Come with me.
So, somewhere I hear Admiral Akbar yelling, "It's a trap!
It's a trap!" Yes. And Sheridan knows it is. But it's something he's going to have to do. Of course, Garibaldi's not happy. And then, what's this? If you go to Zahadum, you will die. It's like, what's going on there?
Wait a minute, I thought Kosh was dead.
Mm-hmm. So they're on the way. He's got everything prepared for the White Star. They jump on board, just them. And it's a little uneasy because, we're dealing with a Vorlon ship with shadows. So it's like, it kind of creeps you out. And you make it to Zahadum. Take your mask off. Oh, look who we meet. Mr. Morden.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Slimeball himself.
Mm-hmm. And then we've seen this gentleman in so many things.
Mm-hmm.
That is, of course, Jeff Corey. And he is kind of, what should say, the kind of, I wouldn't say leader, but But he's there to help try to convince Sheridan that the shadows are the good guys. You misunderstood the shadows. They want to make things better. They just have a different approach, which is, of course, chaos. Delenn is obviously not having a good time on that one, definitely. And, of course, Sheridan's taking this all in. Having tea is a nice, pleasant thing. There is Anna being pleasant, but you can see that there's masks on all these people.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
just what they're saying, it sounds good, but you're like, no.
It sounds too good to be true.
But even the looks on the face, it's like you can tell it's like they're wearing masks. They're not who they are supposed to be.
Right.
Of course, someone who has really passion, of course, is Jeff Corey's character. And that character's name is, of course, Justin. He's Justin. Kind of homespun. I kind of like his dad, but passionate about what's going on. And Morden's thinking, we're winning him over. We're winning him over. This old man's the one that's going to do it for us. And all of a sudden, shadows start appearing at Babylon 5. Again, another premonition. Another premonition.
This show has payoff.
Yes.
It sets everything up, and then it has payoff.
And not only that, spoiler alert, just in case, we see a representation of this in the movie that they came out with.
Mm-hmm.
The Star Furies are sent out to try to intercept them, but they're just sitting out there. Morden's trying to put his 2 cents worth in. Come on. We're not the bad guys. You can join us. You can be part of us.
Come on, John. Everything's fine.
Mm-hmm. The Vorlons are not who they say. Of course, Garibaldi's looking down the face of death.
Yes.
They're still trying to convince all across the board. I love this scene where it's going from one to the other with the focus. And, of course, he's trying to take, listening to everything he's saying. We have you, John. We got you. What do you think, John? Of course, we have a little between Ivanova and Jakar. Obviously, it's about what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes a little bit ahead, but he pulls out a PPG and starts firing. I think he believes he takes out a shadow. He escapes. He's running. He's trying to get away. Obviously, he's been in battle.
Mm-hmm.
And now he comes to the edge looking over the Shadow City on Zahadum. Looking at everything. This is it. This is your home. The big chasm down to nothing below him there.
Yes.
And above him, kind of a skylight to the world.
Mm-hmm.
What's he doing? And now who's going to be behind him? His beloved wife. Trying her last bit to try to get him to join. Of course, Delenn is listening to a last message.
You know you want to.
Mm-hmm. And here's Sheridan basically saying his goodbye message because he figures he's going to die. Because if you go to Zahadum, you will die. He calls something. And, of course, we don't see the scene there, but he is told by a voice.
Yes.
Jump. Jump. Which he does. As she's offering, he falls down the chasm. He's obviously upset. Then she looks up and sees the horror that's coming down upon him. It's a white star. And explodes with enough material in there to make, Oppenheimer happy. Blowing up the Shadow City. Garibaldi's still out there. He's everything's starting to change again. And then what happens? The shadow ships go, but Garibaldi's captured.
Mm-hmm.
And they go away. And now we are left for probably the best cliffhanger Babylon 5 could ever have.
Mm-hmm.
I think in some ways it rivals a Best of Both Worlds.
Yeah, because you really don't know what's going to happen going into the next season. You don't know who's going to live, who's going to die.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And we know that we've known from J. Michael Zinsky, he's more than happy to kill off a character if need be.
Yeah.
We've already seen it.
Just do it in the right way. Yeah. And the right way
and
is,
so
it makes sense. Right. It connects to the
so,
story. Right.
Right. And so far with the series, J. Michael Zinsky's done a great job of that.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that Sheridan can't have died. You know why?
Right.
A hero never falls to his death.
Nope.
Good point.
That's how it should be. Unlike with the
Mhm.
Force Awakens, where you had Han Solo fall to his death.
Right. But
yeah, they could have done that better. You could have just, but whatever.
I would also say that this episode mirrors Lord of the Rings quite a bit. First of all, you have Zahadum, which is kind of a playoff of Khazad-dûm, with the Lord of the Rings inside the Mines of Moria, the bridge.
Okay.
Yes. You have, of course, the wizard, the great wizard.
Talk about Gandalf. Gandalf!
Yeah.
Right, when he falls.
Right, Gandalf doing battle against the Balrog, and of course they fall down. I think there can be no escape from the fact that this mirrors that particular part of the book, and because at the time it was only a book, where Gandalf and the Balrog are fighting. It appears that Gandalf falls to his death, which he doesn't. So you have that power on there. You have of course, the breaking of the heart of Delin.
Yes.
Because we're getting to that point with the relationship, and it's yanked away. We have ghosts of the past coming out. You have, of course, the propaganda, and I'm sure they really mean it. They do believe that the Shadows are trying to, and the Shadows themselves believe it, that they are trying to make the galaxy a better place, but they believe in doing it through chaos, while the Vorlons are doing it through order. And that's the big battle between the two of them. How are we going to have these lesser races grow? And that's the fight. And along the way, just like anything else, they lose the reason why this is all about, to their own pittiness. And you have these two great older races being just as petty as human beings.
Yes, it's true.
I mean,
and in some ways, one's worse than a little bit in the Shadows because of the technology they have. It's crazy. Like the Shadows are horrible. They're nightmare inducing. There's no doubt about that. But
as long as if you have a fear of spiders, that is.
Yeah, I don't really care for spiders much, but
right. That's why you don't like.
But they still look pretty terrifying. Yeah, that's right.
They do.
But the Vorlon, even looking at you, like they're quite intimidating too.
Right. I mean, we're looking at the fact is Kosh, the first Kosh, the odd duck out of the Vorlons. Is he the only one that really seems to care about these people, while the other Vorlons are more interested in their little battle with the Shadows and trying to prove that they're right? Is Kosh the only one that was on the correct path, which made his character so great? Well, we also saw with the other Kosh what a prick he was. So, of course, we have this guy disappearing. What the hell is happening with him? Oh, look who we have. I just have to sit back and say, Rough Girl, how you doing?
Hello.
Great to see you, Rough Girl.
Good to see you.
Yes. And you know what? I haven't been on my Facebook for a while. I saw you sent a friend request, and I finally answered it. My apologies for having it for so long. I need to get better at that stuff, but it's great to see you, Rough Girl.
Yes,
I hope you're
Rough Girl, and thank you for being another person of common sense. Baron sent me something you said a while back, and whoever it is, I appreciate the fact that there's still people out there who have common sense. I mean that.
Yeah,
it's very important.
Really, honestly, I hope we can do something sometime together, Rough Girl. I really mean that. You are just a delight to be with and talk with, and I'm hoping you're having a great New Year. I really do. So that's where we're at now. It appears Sheridan's dead. Garibaldi's been kidnapped. The station is a bit in disarray. They thought they were about to get destroyed by the shadows, and the shadows take off. It's like, okay, I was about to die, but now I'm alive. What do I do now?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, any last thoughts on this episode?
Really good cliffhanger.
Really good cliffhanger for season 3. It really gets you pumped up to watch the season 4 premiere, or as they say in Britain, series 4.
Mm-hmm. I do say step up a lip. Right, and isn't it funny? Both Star Trek: Next Generation and Babylon 5 had these really suspenseful cliffhangers.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
And
like I said, I think they're comparable to each other.
Mm-hmm.
They really left you wondering what's going to happen. What happened here? The sad thing, though, is in the United States, they held back, of course, the last 4 episodes and then played them for us about the time that the new season started. So we didn't have that long of a wait. But the Brits were able to see all this stuff before us. So it's like, we know what happens. We know what happens. Yeah. And, you have the page like the Lurker's Guide to Babylon 5, as you can see. September 22nd, it aired in the UK. In the United States, it was October 28th. Those bastards. The episode, I just want to point out, Adam Nimoy was the director also of this episode. And of course, they had to put this out because, again, the episode was seen before us in the UK, so stuff was already getting filled out on that.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we got season 3 all done and over with, guess what? We have season 4 to look forward to, and I hope we are going to be able to tackle that starting next week. See what answers we might get from it. What's going on? Remember this, J. Michael Straczynski? You never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't. Look at this wonderful group here. Talk like that.
We got the Vorlon, we've got the filthy Centauri, and we got the amazing Nard.
Oh, speak for yourself, you lousy man.
They are a dying people. Well, why am I even doing that? Why am I doing that for? I could be doing this.
They are a dying people. We should let them pass.
Who? The Narn or the Centauri?
Yes.
I love that.
Sinclair, just, I don't know. I know Phil was always like, Sheridan, just the show gets so much better with Sheridan. I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to say this, Sinclair, I would still follow him. He seems like he has good enough leadership. Yes, I like Sheridan better. I can't say I don't, but still, Sinclair wasn't terrible. I still thought he was good. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he had a different approach to it. He had a more Zen approach.
Yes,
to
he
it,
did.
Would have worked with doing with the Minbari, but again, that switch only made it better because now you saw a different type of commander.
And we've seen this all with a lot of shows. You've seen this with Saved by the Bell. I bring that up because, after a certain few seasons, then the show just gets better. It's because of the characters they add. It goes with different shows. They change an actor and you're like, oh, wow. This just adds so much more. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had that with Mission Impossible. Peter Graves took over on the second season. It's like, wow, boom.
I got to watch some more Mission Impossible. It's been a while.
Those were good episodes. Those were good shows. That was a good show.
Yeah, man, they were.
Okay, gentlemen. Before we go here, I'll go with our Centauri since he's moving up in the world. Mr. Michael Minbar. Michael Minbar. I don't know. You try, Cash. You probably do it better than me.
Michael Minbody. Is that what
Yeah,
I'm
here we
trying to
go.
say?
Oh,
Okay.
but no, he's turning into Doc Pop now. So
Oh,
we gotta
Doc
behave.
Pop again.
Doc
Yeah, you
Pop
gotta be
is there.
careful.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's working on his chemical plant and stuff. Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha ha! Very funny, Cash. You just better have your pipes ready for tomorrow's pop talk.
I'm gonna have my pipes ready more than you guys. That's for sure.
Listen to this guy, Baird.
You know what's happening? He's going to go down to Fullerton and go to a karaoke bar.
Yeah, he's going to try to one up us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn on
If you want
when the
to,
show's
if you
over.
want to start being arrogant, Mike, yeah, I am.
Wow.
If you're not, then sure, I won't.
You know what? That is a typical non. A typical non that thinks he's all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Pacific Forum for Pop Talk, we are actually going to be doing a karaoke stream.
Woohoo!
And it came up during last Sunday's stream. We talked about it a little bit after the stream ended and decided, you know what? Next Sunday, meaning tomorrow, we're going to do a karaoke scene.
Thanks, Big Daddy T-Gap.
Singing type of deal, and I can't promise we're gonna sound all perfect and beautiful and earworthy, but hey, if you wanted to come on and sing a few tunes, well then you're more than welcome to. It's gonna be an open panel.
Don't think it's just about the hosts. Like Mike has said this before, and we don't mind if we just sing like one song and other people sing more. It doesn't matter.
Please,
we want other people to have an opportunity. Like I already have some songs lined up, but if I only get to sing one, I don't care. If other people want to come on and sing, that's fine.
Please,
please me, oh yeah, like I please you.
Be the singers. Be the singers. I want to hear Jace. I want to be here, Jace. So
the summer
we have
wind came blowing in from across the sea. It lingered there, touched your hair, and walked with me. Just a little.
So this is a little taste. There's a little taste for tomorrow's Pop Talk at noon Central Time. 1 Eastern, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 1 Eastern. That'd be noon Central Time and 10 a.m. Pacific Time.
Valen, help us. Anything else you have on the plate there, good old Michael Minbody?
I will be playing more Crisis Core on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Nice. And of course, we have the Wednesday edition of Pop Talk at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then Thursday, Cash and I are going to try to finish up River City Girls 2.
Nice.
Don't worry, I'm not going to do it.
As long as we don't get disconnected like we had happened to us the last 2 we tried.
Yeah.
All right. And then, of course, I'll be with you and Cash next Friday playing whatever game we decide that we're going to be playing. And and then, of course, we'll be back next Saturday, all 3 of us. And then hopefully Krit and Phil will be feeling better. And we'll be able to talk about season 4 of Babylon 5, which I'm just going to say should have been the final season.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it should have been with how things turned out. If it wasn't what was looming over them, then 5 seasons. But that kind of messed things up. So
yeah.
So, oh well. Okay.
Whatever.
So I thank you very much there, Malari, Michael Malari. There we go.
Malari.
What am I trying? What am I?
You said Minbari. That's funny though.
Yeah.
It's just,
yeah.
No.
Okay, so we also have that magnificent chin himself, King Ka.
So later on tomorrow after Pop Talk, I'm planning on finishing up Ratchet and Clank. I'm hoping I'll be ready to finish it. I'm at 85% now, and I'm like, I'm getting so close to finishing that game. And last time I had to be offline because those stupid robots were not going in the right direction. They were aggravating me a bit. But Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart has surprisingly been a lot of fun, and as much crap as I've given Insomniac Games for Spider Panda 2, I have to say I've been pretty impressed with Ratchet and Clank. It gets a little repetitive in certain things, but overall it's a fun game. So I'm going to finish that, and then I've got to finish Dishonored 2, and then I might finally start also because I want to usually play 2 games a week if I can help it, like single-player games besides our multiplayer stuff. I want to start Persona 5 Royal. I played Persona 4, or actually no, I played Persona 5 from the PS4 version at least a few years ago, and that went well, but I never finished it on stream. I'm on the PS5 version. I'm about halfway in. I think I'm in Hawaii right now with the characters, because there's a lot of social aspects in this game besides the terror and the personas and helping people and whatever. But yeah, I think I'm going to start doing that because I was hoping that, and I still want to encourage people like Mike. Well, I don't know if Mike would play Persona, but Paul definitely, to go back and play that game on stream. I really believe it's a great game. It's quite an amazing game, actually. I don't know if that would ever be your type of game, but you are enjoying the Final Fantasy games, Mike. So you might like Persona. You might like it. I don't know. And so yeah, those are the plans for next week. And then of course we'll have a game on Friday, and then we'll just see. And of course we should be back next week with season 4 of Babylon 5. So and then of course Pop Talk again. So yeah, all crazy stuff. And then I'll be popping on a 540 stream next week, of course, if we have one. So yeah, I gotta keep myself busy with these streams. Just don't want to overwhelm myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start doing too many at one time. It does.
Yeah,
it really does.
You gotta have a lot of fun, and you gotta plan this stuff out. I think it's good. Structure it, and I would say this over and over again. Like, schedule your streams. If you're not got a set schedule for that week, at least schedule the streams. Schedule them, an hour, 2 hours a day, whatever, before you're going to do it. I need to start scheduling probably a little bit more streams like Mike does.
Or at least try 24 hours in advance. Too.
Right. I like that too. So, yeah.
Yeah. Mike has a schedule sometimes on his page.
It's
like a TV guide.
Yeah, he does.
I try to come out with the schedule every week. Sometimes I will try to get it up early in the morning. Sometimes it'll be later in the day, but I do try to get the schedule out there so folks know what's going to be happening on the channel, so they don't find out at the last minute, because we all know you don't always get the notification when somebody gets live.
Right. Well, that's why I think it's important. Just even that Space Marine game, want to make sure everything works, and things did. And it was nice. But I encourage people all the time. Like, you think it's work, sure, but you want to test this stuff out because you're more prepared. Because you get on there and things aren't working, like it's even more frustrating.
Okay, fantastic. Before we go here,
and of course on the Fandom Hooligans, I got to make sure to say that. Yes.
The hooligans. Exactly. So before we go to, I want to thank everybody's favorite penguin besides Punk Waddle, the great low spec Linux laptop, everyone's favorite troll, the king of troll bots. It's Phil McCracken.
Yep.
The master of the turtles himself, DJ Ronnie G, nerd. And of course, the lovely rough girl. It was good to see you again as well. And anyone else who might have been lurking, people might want tune in later on after the show. Of course, want to thank you all, everybody. Of course, my 2 cohorts here, Mike and Cash Monet. With that, I just want to wish everyone a great evening, great morning, wherever it is that you are. Have a great time. Watch some great science fiction. Remember, there's more stuff than Star Trek and Star Wars. Go out there and experience this wide, wonderful world that we have. It is just, and even beyond Babylon 5, we should not
Mhm.
be pigeonholed into just one thing.
No.
We should love it all and embrace it all. And that's all I got to say. So, good night, everybody.